Hi, everybody. There are certain Detroit radio icons, and we have one of them with us on this edition of Catching Up with CMO and Shep. Drew Lane joins our podcast next. This guy is, along with J.P. McCarthy, one of the biggest, most influential, and I would say greatest radio talents Detroit has ever had. And I don't say that because he's here. I don't say it because he's a friend of mine. But Drew Lane is an innovator, and he is one of the more knowledgeable sports fans you'll ever meet. And he, of course, hosts the Drew and Mike podcast that is so very popular. Glad to have you, man. Appreciate it very much.
Thanks, Shep.
Hey, thanks a lot for dressing up. We appreciate that, too.
My collared shirt is a little over the top, but they're shooting here at the Palladium. This is a nice studio. I had no idea this was here.
Yeah, appreciate that very much.
Well, I'm excited to have him here, too, though.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Thank you, CMO.
I really am.
How have you been?
Good. Podcast is rolling along. Podcasting just keeps getting bigger and bigger. You're in the game now, so it gets a little bigger. I mean, look at what's happened since 2016 when we started. People didn't even know, when does a podcast start? How do I find it? And now everybody's got a favorite podcast or two or three. So, I mean, it's a great place to be. I'd rather be here than radio or TV, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what's the ingredients? I mean, to make a great podcast or being a great radio host, like, what's you got some special sauce on there because you continue to have success at it. We want to get to that point.
You have to connect. You just have to connect with the audience. There's just something about the host and the audience. I don't know what it is. I always felt that way as a listener growing up. There were people that I loved listening to. Steve Dahl in Chicago, Stephen Gary, Jonathan Brandmeier. And I just think you connect with a show and you just look forward to it every day. And it's live. It's personal. Podcasting isn't always live, but there's just something about that connection. And I always thought it was an audio only thing. And now everybody wants video, which I hate.
Why?
Why
do you hate that?
I just liked the anonymity of being, in the dark and nobody can see. It's kind of like when you're on the phone with somebody you're interviewing or talking to versus them being there. You can take some liberties that you can't take when they're sitting right there. I think you get a little bit of that from not being seen.
I love your crew, too, because I think Mark Fellhauer is a fantastic guy. Trudy Daniels is a legend as well. You have a number of different people in there. I think that one of the key ingredients for you has always been you are likable. And I think that's a really hard thing. Now, how you define that is up to the individual, but people can relate to you, your laugh, your humor, your good questioning oftentimes, and your ability to pivot to topics. How did you become likable, do you think?
I don't, that's another kind of mystery. That's just like the connection. I think if the audience doesn't like you forget it.
Yeah.
I mean, the audience really has to love you if they're going to really stick with you for a long time. There's got to be a really deep, long, you'll find that people know stuff about you that you don't even remember you ever revealed. I mean, there's no one that's ever listened to my show that doesn't know that I was forced to swim nude in high school. No one doesn't know that. My high school, the guys had to swim nude in gym class, which is bizarre. People cannot believe that. It's true. It's out there. New Tree High School, 1974, 1977.
Can you imagine that?
No, today? How bizarre is that? It's so weird. But I hear from people all the time who go, yeah, I had an uncle that had to swim nude too. It was this county of Texas. And, it's not that uncommon.
No, speaking of swimming nude in high school, how about this crazy ideal of you reading 14 books a day?
Oh, I never read 14 books a day. That never happened.
Oh, okay.
But
So
I do
lying
like to
is
read.
part of the persona as well.
No, I do like to read. That helps too. I mean, knowing, you're talking about knowing a lot of different things. Like, I'm excited to do a sports podcast because we don't talk about sports all the time. I did sports radio for 2.5 years and almost lost my mind because that stretch, what is it? Wintertime. Or July, August can be a bore. There's just not enough enough meat to really grab into. And so you're like, who's the most important player to their team in Detroit sports history? Is it Tarik Skubal? You have to invent topics.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I hear people doing it, and I'm like, oh, I feel bad for that guy. I heard Mark Ryan talking. Actually, it was that topic. Who's the most important to their team? And like, oh boy, yeah, nothing to talk about. But there's lots to talk about now because the Tigers, man, they're hot.
They're pretty damn good. Do you think they're as good as their record would indicate?
Yeah, I do. because when last August and September happened, we went. I mean, that was insane.
That was insane.
Have you ever been on a team that won 33 out of 43 games or whatever they did?
I believe that 06 team, we put on a
Oh, yeah.
nice little run,
That's right.
but I don't think we had that kind of run where they were just, I mean, every day there was a different hero.
Yeah.
Somebody was going to come up big, or be it pitching in the back end of the bullpen.
We had 2 starters.
Or a big knock. That was
insane.
great baseball, too.
Yeah.
That was just fun baseball.
But
to watch.
teams have won with 2 starters before. Arizona won with Randy Johnson and Kurt Schilling. The Minnesota Twins beat the Tigers in 1997 with Bert Blyleven and Frank Viola.
But they
We've seen it.
had other starters they threw out there.
Yeah, right,
I
right.
mean, we were starting the game with Brisky or whoever. I mean, so then we come back this year and it's like, was that a fluke? I
Mhm.
mean, can you really win 30? That can't be a fluke, can it? They beat the Astros too, and then they just kept right on going. And when they lost 13 out of 14, people went, "Oh, that's the real Tigers." I was like, "Are you insane? Look at the last. What's a better sample size? 13 games or 160 games?"
Right.
Yeah, I think people love the idea of like the Tigers struggling. It's like it's news
Yeah.
for some reason. Everybody wants to jump on these guys, but listen,
It's easier.
yeah, but
Well, people didn't believe they really were what they were. And so like,
Exactly.
yeah, see, I knew it.
you think about this though, when you watch the guys, Tarik Skubal's must-see TV. You want to go, you
Oh.
want to watch him, right?
Oh,
What do you
he's
think about
incredible.
him? He's incredible, right?
Unbelievable. And by the way, with Tarik Skubal, I keep seeing this quote from Harris, who says that, and he's done a good job. He's done a lot of things really well, but there's the Tarik Skubal window is an illusion. And I'm like, what does that mean? No, that is a window. He's the
Absolutely.
best pitcher in baseball. Of course, you want to try to win while you have the best pitcher in baseball, right?
No,
I think
absolutely.
but I do
you
think,
have
in
to.
fairness to Scott Harris, I think he said windows are an illusion. I think windows are an illusion, but I think personal or player windows are very real because you have a guy for a certain period of time. And what I've said to people is this: based on reputation, we know Scott Boras has taken his guys to free agency, right?
He
Tarik
does.
Skubal's agent. We also know the Tigers are reluctant. They're careful with their spending, if I can
Oh,
use
yeah.
the Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
All right. They're careful with their spending. So I think it's fair to say there is a window there for Tarik Skubal.
Absolutely, there's a window. I gotta say, I can't think of many free agents where I felt like this free agency was hanging over the team quite like this one, because this team scratches and claws. They're young. They're overachievers to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But there's something there, and without this ace, they're not the same team. I mean, it's not even. I don't want to say it's not even close, but
It's
that's
not.
a huge loss.
Yeah.
And you don't want to lose him. You think about this Detroit market. Don't you ante up and you keep Skubal? Don't you think it's
I
now is
think
the time to
so.
pay him?
It's
400
not
million.
my money.
People
People
I
that
can
say,
spend somebody else's money well.
yeah, people that say no, it's like Chris Ilitch can afford. Of course, he can afford to
course
do
he
this,
can.
and he's going to bring in extra fans. I mean, he's going to help the team win. People come to the games to see Tarik Skubal. I'm sure on his day they draw
Yeah.
better. So it's why are people worried about Chris Ilitch's money? He's got if Tarik Skubal is hit by a car and they have to pay off the whole thing, he still will be fine.
Yeah, it's $400 million is a lot of money, obviously.
It is a lot.
But I read something.
Would you trade him, by the way?
You know
What do you do?
that's a great question, because I was thinking that, and people are throwing they're
Yeah.
mad at me right now. But here's the real story. What if you can get a huge overhaul for him right now?
Yeah,
The longer you wait, the less likely that is, because everybody knows the reputation of Scott Boras. But 2 years ago, he and I were in the Tigers dugout, and that was the topic. Do you trade Skubal? I was one of the lone voices who said yes, because I wasn't sure. Now, this is 2 years ago. I'm not saying I would do that now, but it's a very tough situation, because your team will most likely, knowing the way the AL Central is, this time next year, Detroit's going to be in the hunt again. How do you trade him when your
I
team
don't
is in the
know.
hunt? That's the situation you put yourself in.
You have to trade him in the offseason, obviously, right? You can't wait till the
Yeah.
middle of the season and go,
No.
well, we might suck. So, because you could end up with nothing for
Mhm.
this guy you drafted in the 9th round who won the Cy Young Award, who was the hottest pitcher. I mean, that's insane, isn't it?
But think about this. In 2014, they let Max Scherzer walk. He signed 7 years, $215 million.
Well, they didn't
Washington.
necessarily let him walk.
Well,
They
they
offered
did
him a
offer
deal. They
That's
offered
true.
him like what, 166,
That's true.
And
Yeah,
Scherzer
but
turned it down. And he's like, well, I'm going to bet on myself.
well, but he was right.
And he was right.
He
So
was.
7 years, $215 million. I'm rounding up there or rounding around. Since that time, Detroit has signed a number of different, Jordan Zimmerman, for example,
Ugh.
Michael Pineda. The total number of 13 free agent signing pitchers is 330 million. Their WAR combined is like 16 and a half. His is 46 and a half.
This is
So-
only 46 and a half. I would have thought it'd been higher
during
than
that stretch.
Oh,
is
okay.
what I'm saying.
Okay. Oh,
Okay,
wow,
that's-
those are some great stats.
Yeah. So those numbers right there
Bro,
tell
met
you
me.
right there. You're like, would you have been benefited from signing him to that 7-year, $215 million?
Wait, are you telling me you know his WAR for the 13 years outside of the rest of his career?
I'm saying in that span, he's been pretty.
That's
damn good.
ridiculous.
No.
He's
Drew,
been pretty
Drew,
damn
he's
good.
He's really, really good at that.
So he's been
He
pretty
really
good, Drew. He's been pretty damn good.
No, Shelby, you really are good. He hates to talk about himself. He can dive in with the best of them.
That's
He's got
crazy.
the numbers. No, come on, Shep.
No, I love that stat. That's
He-
awesome.
I mean,
The Elias Sports Bureau is going, what? Really? Okay. Who in this room, who among us stole 50 bases in one season?
You know what I did?
No,
in
he
minor league
did.
baseball.
I thought maybe he did at Virginia Tech.
you did it
No.
at Virginia Tech.
No, I did not have wheels.
What position did you play at Virginia Tech?
I DH'd most of the time,
Oh, you
but
could
I was in the lineup every day.
But you could smash. That
I
means
could
you
hit, yes. I can
Lefty,
mash.
righty.
Lefty.
Oh man, I would have died to be a left-hander because you face more right-handers, right? Everything's coming into you, Shep, and all you got to do is barrel it up.
I know. No, I love the that outside high strike.
Out over
is-
the plate.
go to left field. Get a
Smoke
lot
it
of
the
those from-
opposite way.
Where were
righties.
your college opportunities besides Virginia Tech?
University of Illinois, Northwestern, Arkansas, because I knew
Ooh.
somebody who knew
The
somebody.
Razorbacks.
The
SEC.
Razorbacks.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty damn good.
Hell yeah.
University of Virginia. There were a couple others, some smaller schools too, but people didn't know names the way they do now. I mean,
Yeah.
if I was playing now, I'd like to think I would have had more offers.
Well, you'd have been seen more. Hell, you can have a YouTube channel. You can have a
Yeah.
Instagram, and you can just put all your
Yeah.
highlights on there, and everybody you don't have to go to see the team no more. You don't have to go to the state to
Mhm.
watch them. You can just get your phone and just
Yeah.
type in your name.
My best year was my junior year. I was all state in Illinois, and that was the peak of my life. It was. I've
Yeah,
never had
love
a
it.
better year at anything ever than my junior year in high
Even
school.
radio?
No,
Come
I
on,
don't think
man.
so. No, it was a-
You're up for a lot of national awards in radio. My guess is maybe from a sports standpoint, but from your life.
well, I don't know.
the-
I like to say that because it was just like the year when what's going on? Everything was going wrong. Everything's falling. It feels like there's 5 fielders. And other times it
Absolutely.
feels like there's 20 fielders. It was just one of those years. And so I went into my senior year, and I already had decided to go to Virginia Tech. They had a really good baseball program, and they had won 31 games in a row and gone to the NCAA tournament. And they were kind of a growing team. Bob Humphreys do you remember Bob Humphreys? He pitched
I've
for the
heard of him,
Tigers,
yes.
Cardinals,
I don't remember.
World Series in '64.
Wow.
You should know that name,
Yeah,
Shep.
I should know.
He had
that
a
name.
double. He had a double windup
Oh,
like that,
wow.
which he was famous for. He roomed with Frank Howard, hilarious guy. He didn't mean to be hilarious. He just was a real hothead. Threw 2 guys off the team after a game.
Oh,
I mean, you could never do that now. He was like, Hicks and Power, you're undressed right now. You're off the team. And one guy had gained a lot of weight, came in well overweight. The other guy was just a lazy, not a hardworking guy. And they got lit up by James Madison. I think we lost 19-8. Threw them both off the team after the game. And one guy I know ended up pitching in AAA. He said it was the best thing that ever happened to him because it just woke him up. But nowadays, I mean, can you imagine somebody doing that now?
Drew, talk about that feel. Because, I talk hitting. I love talking hitting, especially that you could absolutely rake in college. There's nothing like when you make solid contact and you don't feel that ball off the bat.
I know. You're right. I used to go to sleep at night thinking about line drives, the ball
Yeah.
going off the bat. That is the greatest feeling. And just seeing the ball drop into, if it's close, there's nothing like it. I was thinking about last night when Carpenter hit that ball on that 2-0 pitch in a 3-3 ball game. I mean, off the bat, that kind of majestic bat flip Carps has.
Yeah.
Boy, the bat flip is cool, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, like some pitchers feel they take offense to it.
Yeah.
I think you're showing them up. You know what I say? Get me out.
I
I mean, it's part of the game.
Mhm.
It's a showmanship.
I don't,
It
have,
is.
I don't have a problem with it. I
Didn't
mean,
but the bat flip used to be a no-no.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
You
now
wear
it's
one
like,
right here, Drew.
Yeah.
the next pitch or the
Yeah.
next guy behind
Well,
you.
yeah,
He's taking it.
Nolan Ryan and Don Drysdale and
Oh.
Sandy Koufax, those guys, Steve Carlton, those guys would let you know, wouldn't they?
Oh, they
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
You notice the hat he has on, don't you?
Sure.
I mean,
I knew he was a big Cubs fan.
I'm not mad. I actually got a chance to play for them for 49 games, one of the worst times of my life. No, we'll talk about it another day. But no, I really enjoyed Wrigley Field. See, I didn't get a chance to play at Tiger Stadium, old Tiger Stadium,
Yeah.
right? And they say the feeling in there when you walked in there was just different. It was special, right?
Mm.
When I walked on the Wrigley Field, and you go in that clubhouse, and the locker Shep, it's about big as this chair.
I've
Like,
been there.
it's
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
But when you walk out on that field
Yeah.
and you turn around and look, it's mad. It's majestic. It's beautiful.
I just walking in there as a fan now, it's like, wow, the Mecca. I mean, it really just feels like the Mecca to me because the first park I ever went to as a kid,
Mhm.
and it is so beautiful, and it's a nice neighborhood in Chicago, and I mean, I can't imagine them ever knocking Wrigley Field down or
No.
Fenway Park. It'll probably happen at some point, but I can't picture that right now. It's
I've always
impossible.
felt Wrigleyville is better than Wrigley. I've always felt Wrigley Field was somewhat overrated, but it is one of those places in baseball when you walk into a ballpark. Nothing else compares to this, really. There's
What's
no hockey.
overrated about it, Shep?
Well,
You don't appreciate the manual scoreboard with the guy sticking the 4 up. You don't appreciate the vines on the brick.
I don't appreciate.
What's wrong with you?
Unfortunately, I don't appreciate any of that. But you're probably right, and I'm wrong. But I don't. Baseball, unlike any other sport, when you go into where the players play, there is a field, right? You don't get that at football stadiums unless you go to Lambeau. You don't get that really at hockey arenas anymore. You don't get that at basketball arenas, that's for sure, because they're all big malls. But baseball, if you walk into Fenway, or you walk into Wrigley, or you walk into Chavez Ravine, and you walk into certain places, you're like, man, this is what a baseball field is.
Yeah, you're right, Shep. It's just not a better feeling, especially like a childhood kid. You have a childhood dream,
Yeah.
and you're just like in your wildest dream, you don't think this is going to happen. You're going to believe, there's hope and have faith that it's going to happen, and then it happens, and you walk out there, goosebump stuff, man, where you're just like,
The grass is greener.
the grass
There's
looks
something
greener anyway. The smell of it,
right?
everything about it, it's childhood. It's like you can be the biggest kid you ever want to be. Like you don't have to grow up playing baseball. I just felt like I could be we're just all a bunch of goofy guys just hanging out, doing stretch time. We're being stupid and just being like little kids.
Yeah, the sound of spikes on the gravel is pretty special.
It is cool. I
And-
always loved wearing spikes on gravel, or
Yeah?
on concrete. Just that sound, like somebody important's coming. Oh, it's me. What?
So, do you think the Cubs are good enough to win it all?
I don't know. They've got some. I mean, how many guys they have with over 20 home runs? 5 guys, or
4 or 5.
And
4 or
Pete
5
Crow Armstrong's on pace for some historical stuff.
he came out of nowhere too. He was supposed to be this great defensive player, and he's showing some amazing offense. Is he still hot, by the way?
Yeah, he's still pretty hot. Yep, absolutely. And Kyle Tucker was an unbelievable get by you.
Yeah,
Oh,
can't believe Houston
Great
even
pick.
gave
I
him.
love
I can't
Kyle
believe
Tucker.
they even traded him to the
Yeah,
Cubs.
I'm not sure Chicago will keep him, but I like him.
I saw you guys talking about the trade deadline, and I'm dying to know, after seeing what Suarez went for, wasn't he expected to go for more? Because I'm picturing him in this lineup. You got Carpenter, Riley Green, and Torkelson. That's a 100-homer trio there if Carpenter's healthy. I mean, that's some serious power. You had Suarez to that, and against Philadelphia the other night when we needed a right-handed batter too.
Yes.
I was thinking, man, sure would be nice to have him. Didn't he go for a lot less than we thought?
He did. It was I think 9th round. Like no,
He went
The
ninth.
number 9 prospect,
9, 16,
9,
and
16, and
17, I believe.
17.
but none of them were top 100, were they?
No,
Correct.
absolutely.
Right.
not.
Exactly. There's only one team. I think the Phillies gave up 2 top 100 prospects. But remember, they also get Duran for 2 more years.
2 more years.
And
And
he's
he's on
the
the
best
country.
closer
Yeah.
in baseball, and he's only 27.
So
So
what Harris says he has nightmares about losing these guys, but you don't have nightmares about possibly putting together a team that would win the World Series? I mean, this
Right.
team with Suarez, oh my God, that offense! I love that offense. Parker healthy. I mean,
Yeah.
that offense is. There's more to that offense than you think when you just
he
look
would
at
be
it
a
on paper.
rental, though, Drew. He would have been a
And
rental.
that
Oh,
is
yeah,
what the
I know.
problem is. He's
Yeah.
going to be a rental. And if you go back historically, you look at his numbers. he doesn't hit as well in the second half as he does.
I didn't
in the
know
first.
that.
Declines.
Yeah.
He declines a
But the
little bit.
OPS is real, man.
Yeah, the
I
OP.
mean,
Listen,
890
I wanted
OPS.
him. There's no question I wanted him. But at what cost? I was telling Shep this the other day, Drew. Like, there's a lot of guys that I've watched that were top prospects, and we never heard from them. You don't know their name today.
No,
They
that's
never
exactly
played in the
it.
big league. So it was like, for me, if you
Jacob
got a
Turner.
chance to
Jacob
to-
Turner's a really good example.
Yeah,
of that.
but then you think about that.
I feel like we're acting like every guy that we talk about, and we have some great guys down there to talk about. And I mean, no question, the farm system, and they deserve a lot of credit for that. The guys at the top, and I'll give it to them. But they make you feel like every one of them is John Smoltz.
Right.
They're not all John
Right,
Smoltz,
right.
but you don't get a chance to win to go all. I'm just surprised. I would think the GM that's going to feel most excited at the end of the year is the guy that got a couple guys at the deadline, and his team is in the World Series. Like,
Mhm.
what I did for you. But instead of saying, "Oh, didn't part with any prospects, we just got quantity," and I've never heard anyone say we got quantity at the trade deadline. That is a totally new thing to me. I mean, has anyone ever said that?
I don't recall that either.
I mean, think about what Dave Dombrowski did this year with the Phillies. I mean, that's what he's known
He
for.
doesn't give a crap about
He
prospects.
does not, I like that aggressiveness about him. He's gonna go for it when he feels like he's got a chance. He goes for it. And
There's a
right now-
reason he's got rings.
Yeah,
He's got a ring in Florida for
Yeah.
a reason. Got a ring in Boston for a reason, and people will complain all they want. Oh, you've ripped off our farm system. We don't have any prospects. The reason you have prospects is so you can get proven guys.
Yes,
That's one of the reasons. And I give him credit for doing that.
You just don't know with these guys. I mean, you could have a guy that steals 50 bases in the minor leagues and
Yeah.
ends up a power hitter.
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you
and
steal
steals
50
many
bases?
bags I didn't steal any bags really in the big league.
You stole 50 bases in the minors, though.
I did. I stole 50 one year and 40 the next year. But then, get this, so
Why did you not steal 20 bases in the major
Well,
leagues?
I
You
mean,
played a
tell
lot
you
of
why.
games.
Yeah, right.
You know, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah.
So we get to AA. I'm in Tulsa, playing for the Tulsa Drillers. Left field is kind of like Fenway. It's close. It's high little netting.
Yeah.
And our manager right away, Bobby Jones, I know y'all was running back in Port Charlotte, Florida, but we ain't running here. You're gonna hit the 3-run home run. So he kind of got us out of that mentality of getting on base and having that little fast twitch muscle that allows you to steal. So it just depends on who you play for and the field you play at.
Were they sending you, or were you on your own?
No,
or-
so in Florida State League, I was on my own.
Okay.
So
Whoa.
you get a good
Hey,
shot.
you decided you get those
So
stolen
in
bases.
Tulsa, your manager had the same philosophy that Earl Weaver did. The 3-run
3-run homer.
That's what
He
he's all
believed
about.
in it.
Okay.
And I will tell Drew, I want to tell Drew this one. Drew, the best day in my professional career is in Tulsa, Oklahoma, being a Tulsa Driller.
The Tulsa Driller?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
Oh,
they
that's
are,
a great name. I
the
love
Tulsa
that.
Drillers.
Drillers.
I drove in 9 runs, and I hit.
You drove in 9 runs?
Yeah, I hit 3 home runs. One game.
Nice.
Wow. That's a Nick Kurtz-like
Dude,
day,
it was
isn't
the craziest shit I've ever experienced.
Did you have any other hits?
Double.
3 homers and a double.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's not a bad day.
Dude, you talking about bottle that up. I wish I could have had every day like that because
Yeah,
it's
that's,
just like
that's the Nick Kurtz day. Remember, he went 6 for 6
Oh,
with
that was-
4 homers.
And the double was off the wall in the deepest part of the park.
I know.
Can
He
you
killed
imagine?
that ball.
That's his total bases
19.
ties the record for most in a single game with Shane Green.
If you watch the highlights too, it looks so
Or Sean
easy.
Green,
It looks
excuse
like
me.
batting practice.
It
I
looked
mean,
effortless
wow.
for him.
And is he a rookie?
He's a rookie.
He is a rookie.
He's
Wow,
a rookie.
I tell you, a lot of great guys come through Oakland.
What
were the A's?
No,
What
what were
was
the A's?
Oakland? Yeah.
Sacramento, Las Vegas,
Yeah.
whatever they are now.
Yeah.
What a mess that is.
Well, I just wish they would win. I mean, that fan base. I mean,
I
their fan
know.
base. They got a great fan base.
They're very loyal.
They did in
They
Oakland.
did in Oakland.
Yeah, I don't know
That's
what it's
just
going to
it.
be like in Vegas.
They
you
did in
know.
Oakland.
You watch, they'll start spending money in Vegas. Okay, because they don't
Oh,
spend
yeah.
any money.
They'll have
They
to.
will.
But getting rid of Mason Miller was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, things like that. So you think you're not sure about the Cubs, your favorite team, on whether or not they're good enough to win. Do you think the Tigers are good enough to win? And if not, who's better than them right now?
Well, I think the Tigers are good enough to do anything because that's why I wanted them to fortify this team because I
Yeah.
thought give it your all because anything can happen in postseason. Nobody thought we beat the Astros last year.
No.
We were in the series with Cleveland. That was a good series. I think the Tigers are good enough to get the World Series. I feel like because like 2006, nobody expected you guys to go to the World Series
Nobody expects us to beat the Yankees.
with the Yankee series.
Right.
But when it's happening, you're like, yeah, this can happen. Torkelson could hit a couple of home runs. Why not?
Yeah.
Riley Green could get hot.
Yeah.
I mean, look, right now we've won. For example, we won 6 out of 8. Riley Green and Torkelson have done very little.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
those guys, those bats have been off. We
Yeah.
got Wensiel Perez. Do you like Wensiel?
Oh,
I
I love
like him a lot.
I like him a lot.
Yeah.
What a great kid. You go in that clubhouse and just he's always smiling. I don't never see him. I mean, he's always smiling. I never see a frown on his face.
Yeah.
He's excited about being up here and doing what he's doing. I mean, he's been in this organization since he was 16?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the
Wow.
minor leagues for a long time. Back issues, a lot of injuries coming
Oh,
up.
I think he's a
I
really
love
good
him as a
hitter. I think he's a
But
really
now
good
to
hitter.
be able to come up and have that piece where left-hander comes in, he can just switch over to the right side.
Yeah.
Good bat to ball skill.
I
And
think
he's
he
got
should-
big power from left side too.
I think he should play more. I really do.
Do you?
Yeah.
But you know what? I always say this about AJ, and I and we not get into it, but I'm like, dude, you got to have everyday players. And Perez is like, but AJ will tell you, I can also expose him.
Well, there's no
So you can
question.
get
That's
exposed
true.
Yeah, there's
when
no
you're playing a
question.
guy every day.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
can joke with me, say,
Okay.
well, he
Yeah.
said, I tell you what, I could have probably saved your career a couple times against some of those righties.
But he's right about that. I
And
mean,
he could be right.
And by the way,
right.
that's not just for baseball. Mike Babcock, the former Red Wings coach, once told me when I was talking about Brad Stewart, who was a second line defenseman, the third defenseman overall. I said, he's this good. Why don't you play him on the first line? He says, because he's this good by playing on the second line. So maybe Wensiel Perez, to your point, is really good because of how infrequent he plays.
Yeah.
Except that he's a switch hitter.
Yeah.
So
That's-
I don't know, why would he be exposed? What, against more lefties, more righties? I don't know. It's kind of like Gibby and I were talking about this because I've been arguing for a while that Carpenter should be in the lineup every day. He just can blow up on a ball. They don't let him hit. I mean, can he really not hit lefties, or does he just not face enough lefties to, wouldn't additional bats help?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And I believe that too. I mean, he should play every day. I know he's going to face a tough lefty,
Yeah.
but those are going to help him even against the righties because against the lefty, he's got to stay close. You got to keep that front side in. That just sets him up for the next day when he goes right back to facing one of those righties. He'll be even more locked in. I think you got to give him more chances. You got to
could
give
sit
chances.
him, against certain lefties, but not all lefties.
Not
I
all
just feel
lefties.
like that bat. I was looking at that Philadelphia lineup. I'm like, okay, we're playing Philadelphia. They got a great pitcher going, and we're leading off Veerling, and Jahmai Jones is hitting third. And
You're talking about
that-
against Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah.
He's got nasty.
I just felt like that's not a lineup. That's not a lineup to beat that team. And I know Carpenter, he doesn't hit lefties as well, but
well, he
his
hits him
op-
better than Riley Green.
he is.
Okay,
No, Riley
so-
Green's like
so-
598 or something OPS, I think.
Prior to this year, Kerry Carpenter's numbers against lefties were bad.
Yeah.
This year, he's been much better. How big of a sample size is
39
do
at
you need?
bats.
Yeah.
That's all. But he's
Yeah.
got 2 home runs and 2 doubles. Riley Green has 128, I think, and he's got 2 home runs.
Statcast right here.
It's that guy. Sign him up. Sign him up right now.
I love numbers.
So with that said, you do think the Tigers are good enough to get to the World Series. How many teams are better than Detroit in your mind right now?
Oh, well, there are a couple, I would say. I love what Seattle did.
I do too.
I mean, I don't know how you can sit at the deadline, watch other teams clearly get better and go, well, we got quantity. It just didn't feel good to me at
You
all.
can't let that go.
So if we're grading A, obviously being A+. What was your grade? What was the Tigers' grade in this straight deadline?
I'd say a D,
D.
D minus.
Wow.
I
D
mean,
minus.
But did you see what the national guys were saying? They were saying the same thing.
I saw one B, give him a B. I would probably grade it
I like
more-
Charlie Morton. I love that pickup.
I do too. I would probably give him like a C+, something like that,
I'll give him. I'm in there too, Shep. I'm more like C+. And here's why though. I thought the veteran pieces that they added to the bullpen, these guys are experienced. I think experience in playoffs matter
Okay.
because I feel like they'll be able to slow the game down. Like a lot of times in playoffs, the game speeds up.
Who you referring to when you say the veteran? Like Charlie?
Charlie's a guy that's going to slow down.
Montero and
But
Finnegan.
Montero and Finnegan.
Mhm.
And I mean, we got Paul Sewall, but we won't see him till September the 10th. He's on the IL.
I'll tell you what it felt like to me was because I think I'm probably going to end up agreeing with you guys that it wasn't as bad as the people that desperately wanted a 100-mile-an-hour closer, a strikeout pitcher, or Suarez. I mean, there was a little disappointment there, but But some of these guys are. Charlie Morton is a great pickup, and Finnegan looks really good. So maybe I'm being a little harsh on
To
them.
me, it was underwhelming. I mean,
Yeah.
look, we wanted them to address 3 areas. I thought they needed at least 1 starter. They got 2. They needed to address the back end of the bullpen. I don't think they did, although Finnegan helps a little bit. And they needed a right-handed stick, and they didn't get it. So that's the way I look at it. The swing and miss is still a concern from the bullpen.
Right.
Definitely.
30th in the league. It depends on what you look at. But if you're looking at strikeouts per 9, they're 27th in baseball. I don't think Montero and Finnegan address that combined. Maybe Seawald may. I'm not sure. But if you look at other bullpens, there's a lot of other bullpens that are a lot better than Detroit's.
Yeah,
There's better
definitely.
starting staffs going into the postseason that are better than Detroit's.
No,
and their
on
lineups are
paper,
better.
I don't like answering that question because I feel like they're definitely teams that look like they should get the World Series before the Tigers. But I still believe in them, and I love this team. I love the guys. It seems like a great bunch of guys. Am I wrong in assessing that? 'Cause as fans, we only see
Absolutely
it
not,
is.
because that's exactly where I was going to go with when you talk about trading guys.
Mhm.
You don't know if they're going to fit. Right now, they've got those boys are playing for each other. They're like best friends. You see them out, they're all together.
That's what it looks like.
They are on the road. You see them, they're all together. So when you add in these pieces, sometimes what if that guy's just? I mean, hopefully you've done your homework, but he's not a good guy. Maybe he just doesn't fit. So I love the idea that they didn't go out and go crazy,
Mhm.
because the hardest thing for me, having these bonds with your teammates, and then you lose your brother. He's
Mhm.
gone to somewhere else. It does it changes and it shifts things inside that clubhouse as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that they did. Hopefully they got the right guys with some character, the guys that buys into what AJ's preaching. You know, that every day is a different day.
Mhm.
Try to win the day. I just think those guys, hopefully they fit the bill. And
But
it's not as
Simo's
the-
big into chemistry.
I
which-
really am.
which I think-
Absolutely.
Which I think
It's
chemistry.
huge.
I think it's important too.
It is.
I don't go quite as far as he does with, "Oh, you're losing my brother." Bring in another brother who's better. He'll quickly become my brother fast.
Well, he'll
If
be
he-
a brother
if he- if
because
he's
of
helping-
he's productive.
Yeah.
But there's bonds like Riley Green and Spencer Torkelson. That's a bond that's been created when they both got drafted.
Yeah, when you're shaving somebody's beard off, that's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
a
Like,
serious
so
bond.
it definitely is.
Well, do you think they're affected by Matt Manning was their brother? Do you think that affected them at all? That he was sent down to Toledo and now got traded to Philadelphia?
Yes,
Wow.
personally,
Okay.
yes.
What happened to Matt
Emotionally.
Manning, by the way? Because I thought, wow, when he was healthy, he pitched well, and then all of a sudden he didn't make the roster. And what did
Yeah.
did something happen to his?
No, it doesn't happen. I
Skills?
just feel like he just made way too many mistakes. And a lot of times the pitchers make mistakes. It's a base hit. His mistakes was going over they were scoring runs.
And walked.
They were hitting
walked
homers
a
and he
lot
was
of
walking guys.
Yeah, I
And you
saw
can
his
only do
numbers
that.
in AAA. He
They
was
weren't
walking
good.
a lot of guys. I was
Yeah.
like, what happened to Matt
I thought
Manning?
he was a bullpen guy. I thought he'd been really good at the back end of a bullpen for one inning. I thought
Oh,
that's
Too bad because
Yeah.
he seemed like
He's a great
really good
guy.
talent.
Yeah.
But when you talk about chemistry, and you were talking about radio shows and what makes people, chemistry is so big in a show. It's so huge. I've always felt like you could take if you took a radio market and you had 4 shows, talent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If 7 and 8 have better chemistry and are together, have the best chemistry versus 1 and 2 talents who don't have chemistry, 7 and 8 will beat 1 and 2. Chemistry is so big. People love hearing people bust each other's balls and have fun and be real. And, chemistry is so big. And I agree with you. It's bigger in terms of that situation than it is with a baseball team. But it does matter. I mean,
sure.
and I used to hate watching, Miguel Cabrera, I'll just say it. When he hit a pop-up and just lollygag down to first base, he drops it and he's still standing on first base. It drove me crazy. I don't see anybody that doesn't run the ball out now.
Yeah. Well,
No.
remember, it wasn't long ago, AJ Hinch actually pulled Javier Baez.
Oh, he did in
because
Toronto.
That's right.
he had
yeah.
that brain fart, if you will, at second base in Toronto, and Gary Varsho, or not Gary, but Varsho doubled him up at second base,
Yeah.
I believe. Hey, speaking of, I wanted to touch on a few things because we got to let you go, I know, but the Lions, the way they took over this town a year ago, 15-2, and the way I don't know if it's, we can have the debate whether it's a baseball town, hockey town, which I think is more of a marketing script, football town, but we do know what this town felt like when the Lions were 15-2 and had home field advantage. We also know the disappointment. What's your sense of the anticipation for the Lions?
Wow, it's not quite what it was. I mean, it was so new and insane 2 years ago and 1 year ago. Now it's like we're here, we belong, and I think it's at a level. It's like we're starting to know what it feels like to be there. Like say, act like you've been there. I
Yes.
feel like the fans even know that we've been there a little bit. We haven't won the Super Bowl, but we're a good playoff team. I'm surprised how many people are saying, "Oh, the Lions are going to win 8 games," or I think they're better than that. I think they're that good. Do you guys?
Those people need drug testing if they're
Yeah,
only
they
going 8
should.
games.
Absolutely.
I think there's some questions because the people are all wondering, okay, well, what is this offense going to look like because of Ben Johnson's not being here?
Yeah.
Do you think that you don't think that's part of
Yeah,
it?
I do. But I feel like Dan Campbell maybe doesn't get enough credit for what happened. I mean, he's the guy that said we're going for it on fourth down. We're going to be this style of a team, and when he got the players, and that style was already set in place. And I believe in Dan Campbell. I think they'll come up with some good trick plays with the new offensive coordinator. But it's a loss. But I think, in fact, I read something where they were discussing the last maybe 10 or 12 uh, Super Bowl, or maybe it was like Super Bowl participant teams that lost both coordinators, and only one of them really, had a significant difference in one loss record.
Yeah. Well, Philadelphia won it last year with 2 new coordinators.
Yeah,
So
there you
I
go.
think, that kind of squashes that. John Morton was also with the Lions in 2022.
Yes.
And then what he did with Bo Nix in Denver last year was pretty damn impressive. So I'm really excited. I'm more worried about losing the guys up front, Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler, than I am losing Ben Johnson, who's pulling his hair out in Chicago in your hometown.
There's not been much discussion about that, Frank Ragnow. That's a huge loss.
Oh, my God.
But what about the backup quarterback? I know it seems like a silly question. Well, Goff's not going to get hurt, but what if he does get hurt?
Yeah.
It happens. It's part of the game.
Don't some teams have some decent backup quarterbacks?
Well,
Why
I
do we
wanted
never
Tyler
have one?
Huntley, and he immediately signed with Cleveland, and they've got 5 Qs in their camp.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to judge any of either Lion backup yet, but I think this week's a really important week against Atlanta. That's number one. And number two, Carson Wentz is out there. Carson Wentz is a guy who's been there, done that. In
Bridgewater
Philly,
too
Bridgewater.
He's looking for.
Well, he
employment.
just signed with Tampa.
He did sign.
That's the
Oh,
belief.
God,
The belief
Matt,
is
you're so quick, damn it! Jesus, how can you hang with this
Yeah,
guy?
you don't. You just kind of fall in.
You just turn your brain off.
I have to sometimes.
no, that has nothing. I'm not quick at all. That's the rumor. He didn't sign just yet at the time of our
Okay.
tape. Yeah. So
I want to mention I'm wearing my Cubs hat, by the way, because you mentioned Sandberg,
yes,
and
I'm glad you did that. So that's where I was going to go next. Yeah.
Rhino at 65, too young.
Yeah.
Good guy. What a great player. The best way I can put it is when I was a kid and watching the Cubs, Ron Santo was my hero. I've always had a hero type player, but honestly, when Santo retired, I was 16 years old and was like, there'll never be anybody like that again. I mean, not in your heart.
Mhm.
But when Ryan Sandberg came along in 1984, that Cubs team that made the playoffs, and the Cubs hadn't been in postseason since 1945, and Sandberg had 19 triples, 36 doubles, 19 homers, 84 ribbies. He scored, I think, 113 runs, hit 314, MVP, stole, I think, 32 bases. But I mean, he did it all. Gold Glove second baseman, MVP out of nowhere. I mean, what a great 84 team that was. And then he continued on and became the power hitter that he was. Hit 40 home runs in 1990.
And represented the organization in the league very, very well.
Absolutely. No, a class guy all the way, and just a smooth player. He's just a great ball player, but so smooth.
And for the Cubs to honor him by having every player, I got goosebumps when I
That was
watched it,
cool.
even though I'm not a Cubs fan. For them to wear number 23, I that was ear-jerking for me.
That was really cool.
It really was.
I didn't see it, or I might have had the same impact.
No, that's a really classy thing.
No, it
to
really
do.
was.
Yeah.
I don't think enough is made of that. I mean, for you to do that, it shows you the impact he had. And ironically enough, he wore 23. Michael Jordan wore 23.
That's right.
It's not a coincidence that those numbers were together during the time of championship material, even though the Cubs didn't win.
Did it again, Matt.
What? No.
I never thought of that.
I just found it interesting, but it does leave me, because at that time as a kid, 84, the Tigers were my team. Cubs were your team.
Yeah.
I wanted them to play in the World Series quite
Oh,
honestly.
and they should have.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I can't believe Steve Garvey
Leon
and Greg Nettles
Durham,
did that. Yeah,
ball
it's
went
just,
through Bull Durham's legs.
yeah,
And Rick Sutcliffe was pitching a really good game, and
Yep.
it all just blew up after that.
But Lou Whitaker was our second baseman,
yeah,
and I've always used Ryan Sandberg as the comparison.
Lou's numbers stand up
They
to
stand out to
anybody.
Just about anybody, yeah, and he's better in Sandberg in a few categories. You would agree Whitaker should be in the Hall of Fame, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right.
What is the excuse for him not being in the Hall of Fame? What devote? Well, he didn't have enough double. What is it? It's
Dumbass writers.
Yeah, if you want to be
I
honest.
mean, as simple as this, it's dumbass writers who didn't see him enough. I'm not saying Ryan Sandberg didn't deserve to be in there, because he does, period. But they saw him every night on WGN.
Yeah.
I did too as a
They
kid.
didn't
love
see the
watching it.
Tigers. Okay, which kind of kills me, because Dale Murphy should be in, as far as I'm concerned. You saw him just about every night for Atlanta broadcast.
I wish he'd hit that one more home run or two more home runs you need for 400.
Yeah,
What was it,
something like that too.
398?
I think it's
399 or
yeah.
398, I
I
think.
think so too. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, his resume is pretty impressive.
He's a great player.
But dumbass writers keeping Lou Whitaker. It's not even that Lou Whitaker. I don't want to get too emotional. It's not that Lou Whitaker's not in. He didn't make it past the first goddamn vote. Okay, 5%. That's ridiculous.
But you can look at the numbers. You don't have to play on WGN or TBS or whatever. Look at Lou's numbers. When defensively, if you look at like assists, putouts, double plays, he's in the top 6 or 7 all time
All
at second
time.
base.
It doesn't matter.
And then the numbers stack up to any second baseman virtually, except
100%.
for
I
maybe
think
one.
the writers too. You gotta like them. Let's just call it like it is.
Is
If
that
they
what
don't-
it is?
if
Is
they-
that what it
yeah,
is?
If they
'Cause-
don't freaking like you,
Well, they didn't like Steve Carlton.
Well, I mean, but there's just few
But he
guys
won
that still
300
get in.
games. You can't deny
But you
him.
can't deny,
Yeah.
300. But
I
Was
think
Lou-
Kurt,
was-
I think
was Lou-
Kurt
I knew
Schilling
it-
should be in. They don't like Kurt Schilling. He should be in.
Yeah, he probably should. What did I knew Lou was really quiet. I mean, really quiet. But I didn't know that he did. Writers not like him.
well, I
And
think
was there a
you
negative
got to be
relationship?
available. Like you got to make yourself available to the media. You got to talk to him after the game. And Lou just really wasn't that kind of guy.
Yeah.
He was quiet, as you said. He didn't need to. He didn't want to talk to the reporters.
I don't think it helped him. Not that this should matter, but I don't think it helped him that during the lockout he showed up in a stretcher. That probably didn't.
Sweet
that-
Lou,
that
baby.
probably didn't help him much.
But then he showed up at the All-Star game with a magic marker #1. That was pretty cool.
He got a local store. That's hilarious.
That's the coolest story ever.
Oh,
It really
man.
is. It's cool.
That's freaking awesome.
Another guy I wanted to get your thoughts on, because I grew up listening to you and Mike, and you guys were so impactful in so many people's lives when it came to rock and roll and entertainment. Okay, so entertainment won, but you used to teach people a lot about rock and roll. Ozzy Osborne recently passed, and I know this is blasphemous. I actually like Ronnie James Dio better with Black Sabbath than
Really?
yeah.
Whoa.
Well, the Heaven and Hell album is one of the greatest albums of all time. I mean, there's not a bad song on it, but the impact Ozzy Osbourne made in rock and roll, and maybe even beyond that. Okay, he's in a country song, for crying out loud. What are your takeaways from the impact he made?
Well, he's the godfather of heavy metal. I mean, he's the first guy. That first album was, and which, by the way, wasn't out in the U.S. until I think a year and a half later, because I mean, look at how crappy the world treated heavy metal for so long. MTV wouldn't play it. There were no categories for it at the Grammys. I don't know. It was just this ugly thing that nobody wanted to acknowledge. But Ozzy, well, he was solo by the time heavy metal really started to get its due. But he was the first guy, and that first album is so good. And I personally grew up with the Beatles and the Stones and really melodic rock and roll, and I just didn't get it. Like, what is? Why does everybody love Black Sabbath? I don't get it. It was just loud to me. But as time went on, and especially Ozzy in his solo careers, like No More Tears and Mom, I'm Coming Home, he became sort of that more melodic guy that I sort of grew up listening to more melodic rock and roll, and I started to really appreciate him. And then, going back and starting to appreciate heavy music more as I got older, because with Spotify Music, etc., I can listen to anything anytime I want. I really didn't have that great a knowledge of his music, but listening to it now, not just the hits, but more of it's phenomenal band. I mean, Black Sabbath was think of a 3-piece making that much noise. And a lot of those songs too, you hear Ozzy singing with no instruments playing. I mean, there's just a lot of art to that band that I did not appreciate at all. And I just think he was a monster. He's the guy that started heavy metal, essentially. I mean, there were songs before that, but Black Sabbath was it. And that first record was so phenomenal. And then to have a solo career like he had, I didn't, looking at his solo career when he died, like his solo career is right up there with the greatest solo careers. McCartney, Sting, any of those guys, his career is right up there with those in terms of record sales and recognition. I mean, he's a monster. And to think that, it took that TV show for a lot of people to find him.
So there you hit the nail on the head for me.
That is so
That's
true.
exactly how I know who the Osbournes are.
You couldn't not love him if you saw that show. He was a humble guy.
He was awesome.
Sharon, someone took all my beer.
I loved him on that show.
The dog pissed on the cup again. I mean, what rock star allows himself to be seen that way? He didn't care.
No, he did
He was
not.
a regular guy from Birmingham. And the tribute Birmingham put on for him, too, they had a parade. It was like, 20 people deep on the streets all the way. It was a beautiful tribute to him.
And the guards playing Paranoid was unbelievable. It was really good.
And they had, I think it's Ozzy Osborne or Osborne Lake, I believe, is on the banks. They had flowers that read Ozzy fucking Osborne in flowers, floral tribute. That's beautiful.
That is beautiful. Where is rock and roll today, do you think?
Oh boy.
Because I don't hear it hardly at all.
I know.
I hear a lot of other. Our producer, Sean, is the lead singer in Antighost. It's a 3-man rock and roll band. Just don't see it as much as I would like to. Why?
There aren't enough new bands, unfortunately. The zeitgeist became hip hop and rap, and rock and roll just got lost. I don't understand it. I mean, I remember reading that, guitar sales are down 50% from 10 years ago. And I thought, oh, what a silly statistic. But maybe there just aren't as many kids playing instruments like they used to, because I'm amazed that, like I was watching Lollapalooza 3 years ago, and Post Malone, I mean, one of the biggest streaming guys of the modern era. I'm like, I want to see this. He's got to be good. He sells all this music, and he's streamed billions and billions of times. And it's just one guy standing on stage. There's nobody, no musicians. And when I went to see Eminem, it was kind of the same way, although I would never question Eminem's artistry. I think there was a drummer, and that was about it. It's just so weird to me that, I love watching multiple guys make music together, and I don't think people are really growing up and playing instruments the way they used to. As far as rock and roll, though, if you look at the tour numbers, look who's out there. I mean, McCartney is out there selling out giant places. The Rolling Stones, if they do a tour, it'll sell out immediately. I see people like the Psychedelic Furs and Squeeze and bands that were really, not huge players, but they're still out there doing 3,000, 5,000 seaters.
Oasis has made a comeback.
Oh, that's huge. Yeah. That is gigantic. Have you seen the crowds at the shows too? They're nuts. Yeah. So people still love it. It's just that there's not enough new rock being made to make an impact, I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
I love the passion. You can hear it. It's fired up.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Yeah. No, God, people love this music so much. And, when you look at the age of the people that are out there touring, and they'll sell out immediately. And the guy, a lot of them can't hit the notes the way they used to, but they don't care. They just want to be out there. I'm in the same room with Paul McCartney. Who cares?
I agree.
Ringo's touring. Ringo's 85.
This is how good this guy is. He and I went to the Stones concert. I had a ticket that was up a little bit further away from his. He had bought his ticket 2 years prior. It was during COVID. This ticket must have been at least $1,000. He gives it to me and my wife. You guys can sit next to us. So I sat next to Drew, and we enjoyed the Rolling Stones the entire time. I was not a Stones fan. I became a Stones fan watching them
how could
live.
you not have been a Stones fan?
Well, I was more.
What was going on?
I was more of a Who
Yeah,
fan.
really.
I don't know why I always look at things as competition. It's stupid. I admit it, and it's wrong. But I like the Who and I like the Beatles more than I like the Stones. Why couldn't I like all three?
You didn't like Gimme Shelter?
I did not. I didn't.
Really?
I know. But
Sympathy for the Devil?
But no, my point is,
Midnight Rambler?
when you and I sat
The Last Time?
when you and I sat actually,
Satisfaction?
actually, we stood
Rolling
next to
them
one
off.
another, right?
Yeah.
Painted Black. You and I stood next to one another, and I'm like, Drew, what are they going to play next? He hit every song except for one, And I walked away and I said, I really like this. Like Mick Jagger was phenomenal.
It is
He really
pretty hard
was.
to see them live and not walk away. Bruce Springsteen's the same way. I know a lot of people, oh, I hate Bruce Springsteen. But if you go see him live, that is really, I mean, that guy just lays it out there. He leaves it all on the floor.
But Mick can sing. I don't think Bruce Springsteen can sing with a lick.
He's not a great singer, but he gets the job done.
Yeah. He's
Well, you guys are going to have to send me a couple of songs that I need to do, some classics. Because I don't know a lot of rock and roll here. So you guys are shooting shit out of here. And I'm just like, okay, man. I'm more of a little
You're
bit
a country guy, just as
little,
you were born to be.
I'm a little bit of a more of a country guy. But
You've transitioned
I've
a little bit.
transitioned a little bit. I'm open.
Do you like any rockers?
I mean, I know Mick Jagger.
I mean, is there any rock and roll bands that you really like?
I can't
that you go out of your way to listen. It sounds like no.
No. The answer is no.
Okay, give me your top. Usually we do this at the end of every podcast here. Because we're at the Palladium and Emagine Theaters. We ask a movie question. We'll switch it to music since Drew Lane is with us. Give me your top 5 bands. Not Antighost. They're not eligible.
No, that's the only one I know. That's
give
a
me your
rock
top
and
5,
roll
and then I'm
band.
going to ask Drew for his top 5.
I don't know if I have a top 5. I can say musicians.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll go. Probably my all-time favorite is Lil Wayne. I got to go to the concert at the Joe.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. He had that place shaking. It was rocking. I would say that I am more blessed like a Tupac.
Okay.
Lost him way too soon.
Oh yeah.
And then I got to go to the other side. I'm more Tim McGraw. Right now, one of my all-time, like not all-time favorite, but my favorite right now is Luke Combs.
Yeah, he's excellent.
Dude, the sound, boy, he sounds so good. And then I'll end it with maybe Chris Stapleton.
Who covered Fast Car?
Tracy.
No, Tracy Chapman was the country singer that covered it. It's a huge hit.
No, it's Luke Combs.
Luke Combs. Okay,
Luke Combs covered that.
Who also sang with the solo artist you brought up earlier, with all the tattoos
Post
on his
Malone.
face. Post Malone.
Oh, Post Malone.
I mean, but I could go Jodeci. I mean, some R&B. Some romantic.
No, when you said Luke Combs, I was thinking that he had done Fast Car, and I was like,
yeah, he did.
Never saw a country star covering that song, and it was a huge hit, wasn't it?
Huge hit.
Yeah.
Huge hit.
All right, your top 5.
Beatles, Stones. Then it gets hard. I mean, it's almost torturous to answer. Because I want to say Elvis Costello, because I
wouldn't have pictured that.
I was in college and New Wave was huge, and I loved Elvis Costello, but hard to put him that high on a list. I love Oasis. I really love Oasis.
Do you?
So they got to be in there. I love The Who. The Who was my first concert. I'm going to say The Who, Oasis, and I'll drop Elvis Costello in there. And I may have to correct this later for the record, even though no one cares.
I love the diversity.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's like you've got all of them in there.
Both of you are diverse. I mean, you've got obviously some rap, and you've got some country that shows that you got the open mind. I love that a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, where did you take me to? I went to. Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you that
you're gonna love this.
you're gonna
freaking love this.
I go,
and then we'll let him go.
Shep invites us.
Well, Gibby went with us.
Yeah, Gibby invites all their wives. We're gonna go to a concert in Royal Oak.
Gordon Lightfoot.
They took me to Gordon Lightfoot.
Right.
And Drew, let me tell you, it was an experience.
Did you like it?
I didn't mind it. I just sat there and kind of just.
I didn't mind it.
Steve looked at me and he's like, "Shep, we're the only black people in this entire room."
I'm like, what the hell?
That's number one. Gordon Lightfoot comes walking out. He literally looked like
he's up there.
He's gonna fall over.
He looked like Iron Maiden's mascot. I mean, he looked like skin and bones.
But
Sundown,
if you could read my mind. I mean, he's got some great
Edmund
songs.
Fitzgerald, all that stuff.
Yeah,
well, it was an experience. I'll just tell you that.
Awesome.
I had fun. I enjoyed my company. These guys were great.
That's the key.
Yeah. Well, this was a great.
What's your top 5, Shep?
You don't
give
give
it up.
Yeah.
Well, if we're eliminating Antighost, since that's my favorite, AC/DC.
ACD. I do know ACDC. See?
Van Halen. Triumph. Big Triumph fan.
Oh, yeah.
I love Triumph.
Great
Coming out of
musical
Canada,
band.
Three-man band. Loved it. I'm a big Queensryche fan, but I also like Rainbow. So, I like Ronnie James Dio. I thought his solo career was very, very good too.
I did not picture you being a Dio fan.
Oh,
didn't see that.
Love Dio, and he was in Rainbow for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Jolyn Turner. So Rainbow's in there too. They're all pretty heavy.
But Shep, you grew up in Motown.
No, I know.
Like, what about some Marvin Gaye?
Oh, I like it. I wouldn't turn it off at all.
Oh, okay.
Marvin
so,
Gaye to me is the best thing in Motown. And I know there's artists that sold more records,
yeah,
but I
but
love
did
Marvin
too. I
Gaye.
love Marvin
Me
Gaye.
too.
kinda
Oh,
thing.
Me too.
wrote so many great songs.
Yeah, I'm not afraid to admit that at all. I think I have moods.
Okay.
So if I'm going
too.
down to a game or I'm doing a workout or something like that, it's got to be the bands that I just listed. If I'm working out in the yard or something like that, it might be country, for example. If we're playing golf together, it's lighter rock and roll. So the Eagles, I love the Eagles. I love Bob Seger. Don't know if they'd be in my top 5, but when I'm on the golf course, give me Bob Seger and give me the Eagles all day long.
I got a great tip for anybody who's a Marvin Gaye fan or a Beatles fan. Marvin Gaye has the best cover of Yesterday that you'll ever hear.
Really?
And I don't think a lot of people know about it.
I
Paul
don't.
McCartney talks about it, but he covers Yesterday in a way you will not believe it. Really
It's
cool.
to do.
That is a to-do.
I am.
There
You're
you go.
always learning from Drew Lane. Don't ever miss an episode of the Drew and Mike podcast. He really is a legend in Detroit, and for good reason. We were honored that he was part of catching up with CMO and Shep. Drew, thanks, buddy. Keep up the great
Thank
work.
you. Thank you.
What a
Thank
time,
you.
dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome
Appreciate it,
stuff.
guys.
Awesome, dude.
All right.
We'll see you
Enjoy it.
next time.